When WutheringWaves was revealed, it felt like a storm brewing on the horizon. A game that promised despair, survival, and the haunting beauty of a post-apocalyptic world glowing back to life. It had this raw identity, something rare in a gacha space filled with pop idols, pastel skies, and comedy side quests. But now, something changed. The grid has been smooth, the world has brightened, and honestly, that kind of sucks. Today we're talking about how WutheringWaves is stepping away from its dystopian roots and why that shift could ruin what made it special. Before jumping into it, we're trying to reach that 5,000 subscribers. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and also a like on this video would help with the YouTube algorithm. With that out of the way, let's jump right into it. When you look back at the closed beta test 1, the tone was clear. The world was a scarred remnant of devastating comedy. The lament. Civilization was barely holding on. Jinshu was described as a lone bastion surrounded by hostile wilderness, and the enemies corrupted husks echoing pain and violence. This wasn't just visual flair, it was baked into the core of the narrative. From the lonely ambient soundtrack to the dialogue filled with grief and mystery, it felt like a world where every NPC had lost something, and the player was just another survivor trying to make sense of the wreckage. Even the resonators, your main characters, weren't cheerful anime stereotypes. Jian, stoic and duty-bound, Kaoshi, battle-scarred, emotionally distanced, Yang Yang, a rare glimmer of hope, but not naive. They fit the setting, people surviving, not thriving. But then came CPT2, and the global marketing pushed in late 2024, and the tone shifted. Suddenly, the UI was glossier, Jinshu had more color, less decay, seasonal events introduced tropes like water balloons and character skins that wouldn't feel out of place in a beach anime filler episode. The most telling change, the visual presentation. Color grading became more saturated, skies turned brighter, even the combat effect felt flashier. The soundtrack, it pivoted towards pop-infused boss music instead of the melancholic ambient tracks we had before. And that's fine if you're trying to appeal to a broader demographic, but if that means gutting your world's identity in the process, that's a dangerous trade in my opinion. Here's why this shift matters. It's about emotional investment. WutheringWaves pulled people in not just with a gameplay or flashy visuals, but with a tone. A story about rebuilding, loss and survival hits different when the world around you reflects that pain. When characters fight through crumbled buildings, when townfolk talk about missing family, when music lingers on a haunting note, it feels real. The darker tone gave the narrative weight, and by brightening everything up, you risk trivializing the very things that made the story compelling. It's like turning The Last of Us into a slice of life anime. Sure, you could do it, but what are you losing in the process? Let's talk characters. Compare early resonators like Sanhua or Galcharo, stoic, quiet, burdened by their roles. The upcoming banners are leaking characters with over-the-top idol aesthetics, voice lines that sounds like gacha mascots, and lore that feels disconnected from the main narrative. Fans notice on the Reddit, Discord, and Twitter, veterans players are raising concern that the game is softening to fit the Genshin mold. And ironically, many of these players left Genshin looking for something darker, more mature, something with emotional depth. A top Reddit comment reads, WutheringWaves feels like it started as Nier Automata, but is now drifting towards Star Rail with beach skins. That's not just a funny comparison, it is a warning. And to be fair, Kuro Games has acknowledged tonal shifts in recent interviews. In a 2024 Q&A, they said they were experimenting with balance between serious narrative and player enjoyment, but balance doesn't mean whiplash. It's not too late. Kuro Games has something rare, a world that still has scars to explore. The solution isn't to go fully grim dark, but to respect the balance. You can have light-hearted moments, sure, but they have to feel earned, grounded in the pain of the world has suffered. Games like Nier, Metro, and even Dark Souls found ways to inject beauty into ruin. WutheringWaves can do the same. Let characters laugh, sure, but let them cry first. Let color burst through, but only after we've lived in the gray long enough to appreciate it. WutheringWaves is beautiful, but beauty without meaning, that fades fast. Bring back the scars, let the world breathe, but let it remember, because the world that forgets its pain loses its soul. One of the moments that really stuck with me, and honestly made me fall in love with the tone of WutheringWaves, was Scar's fable about the sheep and the shepherd near the beginning of the game.
A brave black lamb spoke up, shattering the flock's facade, their illusion of a peaceful and happy life. The black lamb got in their way, and that of the shepherd's greedy pursuit, sparking hatred.
It's
in
more
their
than just a
hearts.
story, it's a masterclass in the allegorical storytelling. Scar paints this bleak picture of a village full of lambs who are saved by the shepherd, offering comfort and security. At first glance, he seems like a savior, but slowly the flock dwindles, and only one black lamb notices the truth. That this so-called god is feeding off their complacency. The kicker is that the shepherd never forces anyone, he just offers them a choice. The lambs choose to sacrifice their own to protect their comfort. It's such a haunting commentary on how people in power don't always need to oppress us directly. We're often complicit in our own downfall out of fear, laziness, or blind faith. What hit me hard is that Scar doesn't frame himself as the shepherd or the savior. He sees himself as the black lamb, the one who spoke up, who got punished for telling the truth. That fable isn't just lore, it's foreshadowing. It reflects the rot beneath the surface of places like Zhonshu, where safety and order come at an invisible cost. This is what I loved about WutheringWaves when I first started playing it. It wasn't afraid to be morally grey, to challenge our assumptions. The story told through Scar's probable is grim, yes, but it felt real. And it made me think, what role am I playing in this world? Am I just another white lamb? Just that kind of storytelling is powerful. It's rare, and that's exactly why it's so frustrating to see the game slowly shift away from this dystopian tone in favor of a brighter, more colorful atmosphere. Of course, that's just my opinion. Of course, I could be just like talking in a vacuum, but let me know what you guys think. Honestly, I feel like they are chasing the broader demographic thingy, and they're like stepping away from the roots. But let me know what you guys think, and how do you feel about the stories of different characters in the game so far? Are you guys enjoying it? If you're not, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really curious. And as I mentioned, we're trying to reach that 5,000 subscribers, so make sure to hit that subscribe button, and also a like on this video would help with the YouTube algorithm and pushes the video out as well, and a comment would be really appreciated as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be catching you guys in the next video. Bye bye.